Hi, I'm Tom Scarpello of Revology Cars, and this is car number 96, a 1967 Shelby GT500 in custom indigo metallic paint with matte indigo ghost stripes and black leather interior. Today I'm going to show you around this car and take you for a drive. I'm also going to show you a new feature that I'm really excited about that is now standard on all Revology 67 and 68 Mustangs and Shelby GTs. Okay, 67 Shelby GT500. So this client had a really specific idea of what he was looking for as far as the appearance. He wanted a dark blue, but he wanted ghosted LeMans stripes. So ghosted stripes are striped just a very similar tone to the base color, but just enough difference. You catch it at the right angle, you can kind of pick up the stripe. The key was to set the tone based on the availability of the vinyl for the side stripe. So this is a 3M 2080 vinyl material, and the color is matte indigo. So we matched that color for the LeMans stripe, and then we tweaked the Ford Night Mist blue for the exterior just to make them match perfectly. So on the interior, this client went with a special selection leather. So this is a Porsche factory leather, but it's not a Napa leather. It has a bit of grain to it, and it's not what we offer normally, but it was something that he wanted. He felt that it was more period correct, and it's certainly unique, and it does look more vintage. I'll have to agree with that. The rest of the interior is standard Revology GT500, silver dials, the brushed aluminum dash inserts and console insert. This car is equipped with the 10R80 automatic. Has the supercharged 5-liter engine putting out 710 horsepower. Okay, so I mentioned at the start of the video that I wanted to share a new feature. So this is something that we've been working on for the better part of a year. I think it is one of the most, if not the most significant development that we've done in the history of the company. And this is modern door hinges and latch mechanisms. Yes, I'm serious. I'm really excited about this. You're going to see why. The first interaction, the first physical interaction you have with the car is the door. Well, you grab the door handle on an original 60s car, it's the whole mechanism is clunky and chunky, and it makes noise, and it clicks and it clacks, and it's just horrible. But what we did with the Revology 67-68 body style is integrate modern door latches, hinges, and mechanisms into the door and the door opening. So what you get is a very smooth opening. You don't get any squeaks and creaks as you open the door. It feels solid, and it closes solid. Thunk. Took a lot of work to do that, but let me just demonstrate that again so you can just get a sense of just how unbelievable it is. We had to do an awful lot of work to make this happen. So first of all, we had to redesign the A-pillar mounting surface. That necessitated the design of a steel plate that allows the modern hinge to mate to the vintage A-pillar. And then of course we had to redesign the wiring harness. On the B-pillar, obviously we had to redesign the B-pillar to be able to accommodate the modern striker. And then the back of the door where the latch mechanism is also been redesigned. It also adds some stiffness, and that stiffness is actually noticeable when you drive the car. So, closures, door openings in particular, are really complicated. You've got people who dedicate their entire career in engineering to doors, and what I've noticed, integrating these modern latches, hinges, and mechanisms, it really has even greater effect on the overall refinement than I had originally believed. It's not just opening and closing the door, but it's actually when in dynamic condition, when you're driving, a body is actually flexing. You don't realize it, but there's a certain amount of flex in the body, and you go over uneven pavement, causing these sort of very minimal amounts of movement. And the old hardware just kind of flopped around in there, and that created squeaks and rattles, and you pick all that stuff up. But what's really interesting is when you integrate all of this modern hardware into this vintage architecture, and you go out and you drive, it's like, wait a second, something sounds different, feels different. it just doesn't have all those, you know, kind of very subtle noises and things that you had kind of taken for granted, because the way the mechanisms, you know, latch, you know, you don't have any movement of that door. It's held tightly, and it doesn't move around. It's really neat. And when you consider the characteristics of the modern powertrain and the modern chassis, and now even the modern door closures, I mean, all these things really add up to quite a different experience. It's nothing at all like driving a 60s car. We get excited about this kind of stuff. You can have some sexy headline like carbon fiber body panels. If the structure underneath those panels isn't stiff, you know, what good is it? You know, a lot of these things that we work on that, you know, aren't sexy are really what make the difference in the car. Just make it perform, make it really a pleasure to drive. I spoke with a client recently. He has a car that's in production right now. He had done a lot of research before placing his order with us, and he visited a company that considers themselves one of our competitors, and he told them he was also considering Revology, and they told him, we build custom cars. Revology just builds normal cars. Normal cars indeed. I am so proud to build a normal car. That is an accomplishment.